Welcome, my friends, whenever you're watching this, whether this is live or Saturday, Sunday. Welcome to the first college basketball weekend preview. I'm going to be doing this every weekend, going over the top games of the week and what we learned from the season, what we know from the season. So, off the bat, what do I like this season? I still like the Zags. What are they ranked number 3, 4 now? I still like the Zags. They got a little bit of overreaction after losing to Duke, but I think they're fine. They didn't defend the way they should have, but no one's going to be able to score with them in the long run. I still really like the Zags. They'll get it going, and I think it's their year. I really like Kansas as well. I think this could be a Kansas year if David McCormick gets it going. They have the guard play. If he can figure out what's going on, then Kansas will be a problem come tournament time. Iowa State. Where did Iowa State came from? They were nothing last year, absolutely nothing. They return nothing. They lose their best player, Zir Bolton, and they're 7-0, and they beat some good teams, including Memphis. Crazy. USC, I think they're ranked 17 now, maybe 15. I think they're just primed to let everyone down. Isaiah Mobley's doing a good job, but besides that, I don't really see much from this USC team, and I just feel like they're primed to let everyone down in a Pac-12 that's not really open, but the top teams besides UCLA are disappointing everyone. So I think USC is primed to let everyone down. So let's get into this weekend of basketball. First game, Kansas at St. John's. I made this game 6.5 point favorite in favor of Kansas. Sorry. I think it closed or not closed. I think it's at 7 right now. So that one is pretty tight. And usually when that's the case, I'll just pass it. How I'm betting right now is handicapping my games, and the biggest discrepancy is where I will go. So it's closing at 7. I saw it at 6 this morning, which is if the closing line, I'd probably have to take the Johnnies because there's a half point of value on there, in my opinion. But what do I like? What do I like this game? Sorry, a little under the weather. I think David McCormick, he played really well last game, but early in the season he didn't play good. I think he can really dominate this game, because I'm not really sure who's guarding him. Julian Champagnie, I mean, maybe. But also Kansas will have the guard advantage with Yesufu and what's his name from Arizona State, Remy Martin. Remy Martin and Yesufu will have the guard advantage over Posh Alexander. But this is going to be a good game. It's in New York, so therefore this Johnny should keep it close. Like I said, I had this game at -6.5, closed at 7. It's just going to be a good game. Might come down to the last few possessions, but I think Kansas will get through in the end. Next game we'll go into, popular game. A lot of people are betting it. Is Rutgers at Illinois. This is an interesting game. I have this game at 15.5 in favor of Illinois, and if Geo Baker's playing, 12. So either way, I see value on Illinois, and I think Illinois will cover at this closing number. It's up to close to 10 now. Saw it at 8, 7.5 this morning. A lot of money's coming in on Illinois for good reason. And why is that? No one's guarding Kofi Cockburn. I'm sorry. No one's guarding Kofi Cockburn. Cliff Omori is very talented for Rutgers. He's a sophomore. He's just about 7 foot, but he's very skinny, and he's not guarding Kofi Cockburn. Kofi Cockburn is literally Shaq. It's a college version of Shaq. No one's guarding him, and that's where they're going to get all their points. Andre Curbelo is not playing for Illinois, which is definitely very big. And which is not Miles Johnson. He's on UCLA now. Ron Harper will be a matchup problem big time for this Illinois team. But at the end of the day, no one's guarding Kofi Cockburn. Once Geo's status is announced, and I'm going to keep checking my phone to see if he's announced, I'm going to bet Illinois probably at this -9.5 number. If I see 6 points of value, because I have this line at 15, I will probably be playing Illinois. But at the end of the day, I think Illinois will cover at all numbers. I think Illinois is a great bet at -9.5 or whatever number you got it at. But like it's tough because Illinois started off pretty shaky. They lost to Marquette and Cincinnati, and they had a good win versus Notre Dame. But besides that, they haven't been doing much. And Rutgers, huge win versus Clemson, and if that's on any other court but the RAC, they're not winning that game. Like the RAC is one of the most hostile places to play in the entire country. They lost to DePaul, Lafayette, and Massachusetts. Like that's just goes to show that this team is not all that. So I like Rutgers. I mean, I like Illinois at all numbers. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there, waiting the status of Geo, but I got a few hours. Another huge game tonight. Iowa at Purdue. Purdue's think up to minus 12 or 13 right now. I have this game at minus 8. I think this is going to be a lot closer than people are thinking. Both of these teams are 7-0. Iowa coming off of a really good win versus not a good Virginia team, but a solid, gutsy Virginia team in Charlottesville. Not an easy win, and they almost blew that game, but they held on in the end. Purdue 7-0. They beat UNC, Nova, and Florida State. Florida State without any of their players. I'm not kind of discounting that, but they beat those teams handily, like very handily. Purdue is also a national championship team. They have the guys, Jaden Ivey, Travion Williams, Zach Edey. They have the guys. And if I was going to win this game, they're going to have to shoot lights out, but they can. They have 6 guys who play more than 15 minutes a game, averaging over 30% from 3. 6 guys. So that's their recipe to win this game. Just shoot the lights out, and if anyone can do it, it's this Iowa team. No one's guarding Travion Williams or Zach Edey. It's gonna have to come from them shooting the ball, and I think they can. See you guys. I think they can. So Iowa and Purdue. I think Iowa's I think I was going to cover. I have this game at minus 8. If it gets any higher, if it gets to 13.5, I'll probably go in on Iowa plus 13. I know it's on the road, but I think this is going to be a closer game. All right, move on to tomorrow's slate. Memphis at Ole Miss. Man, Memphis, they just keep disappointing us. The talent this team has is just through the roofs, but they average double the amount of turnovers as they do assists, and you can't win basketball games doing that. So are they going to fix it? Who knows? Penny Hardaway's done nothing but basically nothing his 3 years here. Hasn't made the tournament once, but this is arguably the best roster they have. So the talent is through the roof, like I said, for Memphis. But if they limit the turnovers, that's what they need to do, and they'll win. I have this game at minus 4.5 in favor of Memphis, and because I can't trust them yet. They lost to Iowa State and Georgia. Georgia's, I think, the worst Power 6 team in the country. Like it's just crazy. But Ole Miss is without Deshaun Ruffin, still with his I think a hand or wrist injury. It's Jaquel Joyner or nothing for Mississippi. And again, I don't think this Mississippi team is all that. I think they're a bottom team in the SEC. They lost their best player from last season. But again, like Memphis has the talent to run away with this game and win by double digits, but I can't put a number on them because I can't trust what they're doing yet. They're a young team, and like they're going to turn the ball over. They're only going to get better. Like I said, I have Memphis minus 4.5 here. I'm not even sure of the line. I don't look at the lines until I'm ready to make my bets. So this is tomorrow's slate. So Memphis minus 4.5 is where I have it now. If it's anything less than that, I see value on Memphis. Anything more than that, I see value on Mississippi. Gun to my head, I think Memphis wins this game on the road. All right, Marquette at Wisconsin. Marquette 7-4. They have a win over Illinois without. I don't know. Kofi was back. Curbelo wasn't in the game then, but Marquette's a solid team. They lost a lot of guys from last year, but Shaka Smart's doing really, really good. Wisconsin has also some awesome wins. They beat Houston, a really good Houston team. But I mean, I don't think Houston's amazing. I don't think they're as good as they were last season, but they're still a good Houston team with a solid coach. They also beat St. Mary's, and they lost to Providence. Solid from Wisconsin. They have some old heads on that team. They're a veteran team. You know what you're getting from Wisconsin. And this is going to be a tight game. It's a battle. It's a state battle. Both of these teams want it. And I don't know. It's going to be really close. Justin Lewis and Darren Moselle are going to lead the way for Wisconsin. Darren Moselle transferred from Maryland, and they just really kind of turned like the only guy they really stayed is probably Greg Elliott off the top of my head, point guard, but he's really nothing too special. But what Shaka Smart's doing is, and that's why everyone loves Shaka Smart. And then when it gets down to tournament time, he just disappoints. But this is going to be a good game, like I said. Davis and Davidson are shooting 35% from three. This is gonna be a close game. I have this game at -4 for Wisco. I like Wisco with a small home advantage, maybe even less. Maybe -3. I'll end up making this. I didn't finalize anything, but small home advantage. I think Wisco will cover late, whatever the spread is. I like Wisconsin at -3 is what I would make it. All right. San Diego State at Michigan. San Diego State 5-2. They beat Arizona State by 2. Nothing special. Arizona State is not a good basketball team. They lost to BYU and USC. Michigan 4-3. No great wins yet. Lost to Seton Hall by 2. Got killed by Arizona and lost to UNC handedly. But I think this is a great spot for Michigan. I think Hunter Dickinson can really dominate down low. No one is really guarding Hunter Dickinson on the San Diego State team. San Diego State's a veteran team. They have, I think, 4 seniors starting, maybe 5 seniors starting, including Matt Bradley, who's a transfer from Cal, but he's all they have. They're a very bland team. They have no spark. Their only spark is Matt Bradley, and he's a great player. Cal basketball, they're getting better this year, but last year they were one of the worst teams like I've ever watched in a Power 6, and Matt Bradley made them win games. He was that good. So he's all they have. And I really think these Michigan guards can lock him down and neutralize him and then get the ball through Hunter Dickinson and handle him. I have Michigan at -8. I believe I wrote Michigan at. Let me check real quick. I wrote Michigan as -9. So I feel like the spread will be closer to it might get that high. But if it's anything in like this 5 range, I might have to bet Michigan. I do like Michigan to handle them. I mean, people bet San Diego State because of their history and their coach and their brand name, but this team is not as good as they have been in the past few seasons. Like I said, I like Michigan up to 9. I think they'll handle them at home and get back on track. And Michigan, another team with national championship hopes, Final Four hopes. Great coach. They got the guard play. They got Hunter Dickinson. All right, next game. You probably wouldn't think I'd put this as like an interesting game, but I think this is going to be a really interesting game. BYU coming off of a really close loss to at Utah Valley. Utah Valley is a really good team. They've made me so much money the past 2 seasons. They head to Missouri State, they return 3 double-digit scorers from last season, if I remember, and they add 2 transfers. They're solid, but they haven't really started too well. One of their guards is out with a leg injury, but what Missouri State, their key to success here is get the ball to Gage Prim. He's their big man. He's a senior, averages, I think, 16 points a game this season. And BYU doesn't really have an answer down low. They have one guy who was just out last season, but he's not the most physical guy, and Gage Prim can take care of him. The thing where BYU has the advantage is their guard play. Barcelo, he's a stud. He's awesome. And they have one more transfer from I forget the school he's from, but he's also really good. He's averaging about 11 points this season. At the end of the day, I have BYU at -8 to get it done, a bounce back spot on the road. But I expect Missouri State to put up a fight. I feel like the spread will be in the closer to the 9-10 range just because BYU is a big name. They're ranked number 12 in the country. People might not be that high on Missouri State yet, but they're a solid Missouri Valley Conference team, which is one of my favorite conferences in college basketball, and I expect them to put up a fight. We'll see what the number is. If it's anything higher than 8, I'll probably get in on some Missouri State. Maybe we'll get a good number and I see some value, but that is my take on a BYU and Missouri State. I have BYU by 8. All right, awesome game. Alabama at Gonzaga. This is actually not at Gonzaga. This is in Seattle, I believe. So this could be game of the year. Alabama 6-1. They have good wins over Oakland, a really good Oakland team, and Drake, a really good Drake team who hasn't really came on yet. Lost to Iona in a game that I bet Iona money line, so I'm not really surprised about that. Gonzaga have wins over Texas, UCLA. They lost to Duke, obviously, in a game that was awesome to watch, fun game. But this is going to be played at a very, 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 very fast pace. I don't really know what Alabama's bigs are going to do with Drew Timme and Chet Holmgren. I think they're going to have their hands full from the start and have the hardest test they'll face all season. If Bama's going to win this game, they're going to have to shoot. These guards are going to – Cornerly is going to have the best game of his career. These guards are going to have to shoot lights out because I don't think they can keep pace with this because Bama's game is pace, and they can outpace you to death, but they'll never face these types of big guys. And also Gonzaga's guards. I think Gonzaga's guards will be able to neutralize Bama's guards enough and get the ball through Timmy and Holmgren and take care of business. I have the Zags by 6. I feel like that's going to be at the spread. It's going to be around 6. So I'm willing to lay up to 6 with Gonzaga. I'm not sure if I'm going to because this could be a closer game, but I do think because like I said, if Bama wants to win this game, they're going to have to shoot lights out, and that's right up Bama's alley to shoot lights out and just play really fast. But like I said, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to keep up the pace to run with the Gonzaga. So I got Gonzaga minus 6. I think Holmgren and Timmy will eat up down low, and we will get to one last game on this Sunday night at 5:00, I believe. Xavier heads to Oklahoma State. This is going to be a really good game. Xavier is 6-1. They beat Ohio State, Virginia Tech. They lost to Iowa State, who's just I don't know how they keep winning these games. Oklahoma 6-2 beat Oakland, lost to Oakland and Wichita, but those aren't really bad losses. Wichita I think is a worse loss than Oakland is. Oakland is really good, and people just didn't realize that early in the season. Even these other coaches. They beat NC State without Manny Bates. Still a solid win. Solid matchup. I give a slight edge to Oklahoma State at home. I have this game Oklahoma State minus 1.5. Scruggs and Ice Likely are going to go at it back and forth. Avery Anderson and Bryce Thompson, I think, are going to be the X factor for this Oklahoma State team. And because I feel like they don't, I feel like Xavier is not going to be able to match up too well with those guys, but Fremantle and Nunzi are they should be able to feast down low, but it's like there's different X factors on both sides. Like I feel like they match up better with the guards, and then X matches up better with the bigs. And so, with that being said, it's going to be a good matchup. That's why I have it at minus 1.5. But I think Oklahoma State will come through in the clutch, cover with free throws. I have this at minus 1.5. So I don't know. Maybe the spread will be 3. Probably be a no bet, but that's my take. I think this is going to be a really close game. I think Oklahoma State should be a 1.5 point favorite. That about does it. I went through 10 games. Any questions, feel free to DM me. We are trying to think of the record. Like 28 and 16, the last 10 days, college basketball. DM to join us. DM for any questions. We're going to college basketball is one of my favorite sports to handicap, favorite sports to bet. I'm really excited for the season, and it's going to be fun. Please have a good weekend. Be safe. DM me with any questions. Peace out.